Hey everyone, and welcome back to the NPC Dungeon. I've done videos before on things I wish I knew as a new DM mistakes, and how to work with newer players as DM, but I don't think that I've ever talked about tips and advice for newer players specific. When starting out with playing D&D, it can be a little overwhelming with all the rules and mechanics. Every single table is different, and with all the freedom present in this game, it can be hard to know where to start. So in this video, I'm going over 4 tips for newer players for playing D&D and getting into D&D, so you can have as much fun as possible. So let's get started and let's learn something. My first tip is a pretty obvious one. It's one that everyone mentions, it's really easy to do, and it's super practical. You've probably even heard it before, even if you've never played the game in your life. That's right, I'm talking about planning ahead. This tip is especially useful in combat. The last thing you want is for it to become your turn and you not know what to do. As I said before, there are quite a bit of rules, and a lot of them focus on combat. We might think that we can think fast and on our feet, but if it gets to your turn and you don't have some plan while all eyes are on you, that'll just disrupt the game and take up more time in a session that was probably really difficult to schedule for everyone anyway. Now, I get it. Accidents happen, you forget to plan ahead sometimes, and plans change as combat changes. A good table will understand this, and if they don't, know when to walk away and to find a better table. But this doesn't just apply to combat. During your downtime, really any other part of the game, if another player is being focused on, or if you're not being particularly active for whatever reason, be thinking about your next moves, your character's goals, and what your character wants to accomplish, and be looking for opportunities to do so that when one comes about, not only will you be more likely to see it, but also so that you can take better advantage of it. In the same vein, be paying attention to the game, whether you're in combat or not. Take notes and try to keep track of what's going on. Another thing that you don't want to end up doing is asking for clarification on something the DM just said because you weren't paying attention. This will also hold up the game and take up time in a session that again was probably really difficult to schedule out anyway. I try to limit my phone activity and make notes whenever the DM says anything new or that seems important. I don't write every single thing down. After all, we're playing a game, not listening to a lecture, but I find that I have even more fun if I can keep track of the game. That way I can more easily come up with plans and interact with the world when I need to. And of course, I also want to reiterate something that I said earlier, and that is that again, accidents happen. We daydream, we lose focus, sometimes we need more clarification, and sometimes we forget to take a note or even misplace a note. It's important that your table understands this and does not criticize each other for this. If they do, it is not your fault. The table is in the wrong and it might be time to walk away and find a new one. And I know this might sound like a lot, but there are a few better feelings in D&D than when the others are stumped, and in the silence while everyone is puzzling over a new plot point or puzzle, you look back into your notes or remember a past detail and completely change the game because you were paying attention. But paying attention doesn't just happen over the table. It's important that you have a decent grasp of the rules as well. Now, I don't mean read the whole book or memorize every rule or even know every rule. I think that a good rule of thumb is to know what rules apply to your character. After all, those are the ones that you'll be interacting with the most. Obviously, you'll need to know how skill checks work, what saving throws are, contested checks, stuff like that. But what if you're playing a spellcaster, for example? Well, it might be a good idea to know how your spellcasting works. For example, if you're playing a warlock, look at how it differs from, say, a wizard. Do you just learn spells and have a pool that you can pull from? Or do you have access to every spell in your class's list and prepare new ones every day? Read over the descriptions of the spells that you have access to. I like to even write them down. What does a spell do? What's its range? Does it take an entire action to cast? Or can you cast it as a bonus action? What is a bonus action? Does your character get any? And if you come across a term that you don't know when preparing, look it up in the book and make a note of it. These are all important things to keep in mind when planning to play your first character. And even so, let's say you're not playing a spellcaster. What if you're a barbarian? Make a note of how raging works and what that grants you. If you're a fighter who took up Battlemaster, look up how your superiority dice work and what you can use them for. Now, as you can probably tell, I'm not going to go over every single rule and give a definition, exhaustive list of how things work. I'm just mentioning a few things to give you inspiration so that when you're planning your character, you know what to look for. Also, there are obviously different rules and mechanics for every character, and this is why I say learning how yours works is a good place to start. Only focus on your character stuff in the very beginning, and you can learn more as you go. And again, your table should understand that you won't know all the rules. I doubt they even know all the rules. I don't know all the rules. So don't be afraid to ask questions and make mistakes. And if they don't understand that, and if they expect you to know every single thing and be an absolute master of the game, again, I'm going to say it might be time to find a new table. And lastly, don't be afraid to play your character, to get into their mindset and to really start having fun. It's all about stepping into another person's shoes, to live a life and do things that you can't do on a daily basis. Don't be afraid to start speaking like your character, to have wacky plans, and to start making mistakes and helping your character grow as a person throughout the story. Now, I will add one little caveat to this. When I say to play as your character, I'm not saying to play someone who doesn't want to work with the group, who tries to attack every NPC, to steal everything that isn't nailed down. Try to focus more on characters who are willing to work with the group and despite their flaws, as they should have flaws, still have a reason and a motivation for interacting with the story. This might require you to work with your DM, to work with other players, and indeed, this is one of the points of the game, to interact and work as a team. So I hope you find a good team, and I hope you have fun. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you really liked it, and comment down below if you have any feedback, think I missed something, or just want to say hi. I release short videos and new pixel art almost every single day, a new pixel art time lapse every Sunday, Sunday, a new D&D story every Saturday, and new DM advice every single Friday. So come back next Friday, where I'll be switching gears entirely and talking about working players' backstories into your campaigns as a DM. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I really hope that you enjoyed the video. Feel free to check out 2 of my previous videos appearing on your screen right about now. And until next time, let's learn something.